I'm currently planning on making my second photo book. My first book was called Color in Korea and was made up with the street photos of Korea. It was my first book, self-published, has amateur life feel to it, but I like it. Made 60 copies and luckily I sold them all. And I'm very grateful and appreciate those of you who purchased the book. If my first book was made more towards the general audience, for my second book, I would like to make this photo book for the photographers. Since I'm at it, making the book and all, I would like to share 7 short tips on how I go about it. First, I brainstorm to see what, where, how, and why I took these photos. Just anything that pops in my mind, really, because when I'm out shooting, I try not to think. I try to rely on my instinct and also my intuition and the spontaneous moments that I come across, and of course, luck. So when I come back home and observe my photos, writing helps me to understand myself more. So I just keep writing until I find what I like. And this is not in particular order, but go to a library, a bookstore, to see and find a size of book that you might want to make. This makes it easier to design your book later. I pay close attention to the details on like how many pages those book might have. I look at the cover design to see the current trend. I look at the paper types and the texture and the layouts and more. I've managed to shoot over 14,000 photos on my film camera for the past 9 years or so here in Korea. And here on, I try to filter out photos with similar mood, composition, subject matter, color, if it was shot day or night, geometrical shapes, patterns, and etc. And I repeat this for about 3 times until I get about 200 photos left. And again, I tried to trim out more photos. And now to the sequence. Some time ago, I saw an interview of Stidle. I think it was called the How to Make a Book with Stidle. And the interviewer asked, how many photos are enough in the book? Stidle said, when you flip through the pages and you lose your interest, that's when you stop.
This would also be good because it's an excellent photo, but it's lacking that kind of eeriness. That many of your photos.
I actually started on making my book about 6 months ago in March.
Because this is really like 놀러와
예.
type of 느낌.
미국 이런 쪽 거기 그 이제 사진집 전문적으로 판매하는 사람들한테 샘플 하나씩 보내서 거기다 입점을 하고 싶은 게 목적이야. 목표야. 궁극적인 목표. 왜냐면은 이제 외국 사진을 보면은 한국 사람들이 되게 좋아하잖아. 새로운 거니까. 근데 내 사진들을 한국 사람들이 보면은 그렇게 재밌어할 것 같지는 생각을 안 해. 뭐 아시안권의 문화가 이제 외국 쪽에서는 좀 더 재밌게 보지 않을까.
My first book was all me, but this time I wanted to get some third person's opinion.
I mean,
to see my photographs in
Like,
objective manner,
There are a lot of photo books like that.
because
Yeah,
it's
and
hard
I
to
don't
see
think
it that
about
way.
Like,
You
so
know,
I would
like
actually-
I took these photos because I liked
Start
it,
with this.
so all of
Let's
them
start
look
with
good
this,
to me.
and how I go about is put the next spread right next to it, and then I just put it on top like this.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So think about it. You want to have what is it, 19? That makes it big. That's a lot of wasted paper.
So now you have to make a maquette. Maquette is like a dummy book, but more in a rough way. I bought this album and placed the sequenced photos inside. Once you have a physical thing to flip through, it really helps you to grasp on how the actual book might feel later. I got Photoshop, Illustrator, and Lightroom down, somewhat under my control, but InDesign. Just gotta do it one step at a time. Gotta design the cover, the spine of the book, inner layouts. I gotta think about the bleed, guidelines, the gutter. Gotta pick out the type of paper that I want, the texture, color of the paper. See if I want it glossy or matte. Think about the binding, if I want it glued, if I want the PUR bind, if I want to get stitched up. Do I want soft cover or hard cover? Do I want foils or Scotics? Is it gonna be offset?